Yes, people, what's good? We're live. Real Talk United. We're here. That's a bit better. So, just gonna go through the mess and the shambles that was yesterday. Bournemouth. Thanks for everyone tuning in. If you enter in the building, smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. I've had some new subscribers. Blessed to have everyone here. Let's just adjust the camera. Do you know what I mean? You got to have the that way. You got to have the Jamaica top and obviously the United thing as well. It's better to do this. But anyway, people. Topic today. Just thought I'd come on for about sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes. Talk about can Ten Hag turn this around and a little bit of a preview. We're going to do a little bit more. Me and Neji are going to catch up. You can't make today, unfortunately. But with the show must go on. And we're going to go through the Bayern game and then obviously the Liverpool game as well. So a lot of people touting this as one of the hardest weeks within United. Yeah, man. We've got viewers in there already. Yes, hit the like button. It's all about the structure. Do you know what? We're going to break that down. Read for this guy. Thanks for giving us a message there. I'm going to leave that on screen and we're going to go into that. So, Bournemouth game. United lose 3-0 at home. The first time ever in history we've lost to Bournemouth at home. And what a shambles it was. It was just an awful game from start to finish. I've watched back most of the extended highlights in the first half because I actually missed the game. I was in the gym. Imagine that. I don't even rush home to watch United anymore. I'm in the gym. I finish. It's about 20 minutes into the game. I'm thinking, do I jump in the car and speed back? Or do I just take my time? And I took my time because I knew that we would struggle. And I knew once one goal went in, I knew there would be a few more. And how weird is that now? How the mighty have fallen that we're really, really, really struggling against basic opposition. So, yeah, I agree it is a structural problem, read for the sky. But at the same time, I think that I'm starting to feel like another manager could get better results with the resources and the team that we've got because A, we spend a lot of money, and B, he's not selecting the players and not getting the best out of the players that we've got. That's my view on that one. Big up Sophia as well. I locked into your breakdown of the game yesterday. It was absolutely brilliant. I love the way he was interacting with the comments and stuff like that. So shout out to Sophia. Make sure you guys go follow Sophia's Football Talk. She's brilliant. And hopefully, Sophia, if you're watching this, get you as a guest on this channel sooner rather than later. So yeah, man, it would be good to have you on. I feel like me and you would complement each other in the way that we break things down. But yeah, the game, 20 shots on goal, 3 on target. It's kind of the story of our season, really, isn't it? Like we've created chances, but I think sometimes the statistics lie. For sure, man. Definitely, it's going to happen. I think the statistics lie about what we're actually seeing on the pitch. Now, this season, I believe that we have created chances, and me and Neji went a little bit back and forth before about what clear-cut chances are. I don't think that we sustainably create good chances. I think that we spam the box quite a lot. I think there's a difference between getting the ball in the box and actually creating clear-cut chances. Because when you create a clear-cut chance, for me personally, it's stuff that City, Liverpool, Arsenal do. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, even Inter and AC Milan in the way that they play, Napoli, etc., etc. And I just feel as though we're really still clueless, and we have been for, I don't know, probably since Van Gaal, really. And even then, it wasn't convincing. Actually having a style that we actually create sustainable chances, I would call them. So the fact that we have 20 shots, but our forwards are clueless. I mean, the statistics this season, they're absolutely shocking. The fact that McTominay is our top goal scorer kind of says it all about everything, guys. So, yeah, man. A few more of the comments coming in as well. Yeah, shout out to Sophia. She's a real one, man. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely real. Trust me, it's going to happen. You have to manifest it. K as well. We got 10 on because of the style of play at Ajax. I feel betrayed. I feel he's betrayed us. Okay, cool. Let's go into the two-part structure and the style of play. I think when a manager steps into the Premier League from the Dutch league and from other leagues, so for example, from the Bundesliga and from the Dutch league, etc., then you do have to play a different style of football. But what I would agree with KA is that, sorry, it's Cass as well, sorry. what I would agree with is that we haven't really seen his, what would you call it? In boxing, we call it fundamentals. So I would say what he's true to. So what his actual like fundamental style is that go to the byline and cross it in? Is it trying to play through the lines? Is it 1-2s and triangles? We're still not sure. And I think that's an issue with the manager at the moment, because we should know by now. We see him with like managers like Klopp, and I'm aware of the structure. I'm going to touch on that as well. We see him with managers like Klopp, De Zerbi, Emery, even Poch to an extent. We've seen the way that they kind of try to set the team up, and the way that they try and play football, and the way that they try and break the opposition down, and they just change it game to game. But I feel like with us, we're just not sure. Too many times I've seen us. I mentioned this on the Mandem Talk the other day, on Saeed TV's channel, and too many times we're trying to spam the ball with crosses, but we don't have the players for that. Even when we had Vegos, we didn't have a player that could, like, we didn't have a Mitrovic, or we didn't have like a, I don't know, almost like a Drogba style player. So I don't think what we're doing is sustainable at the moment. I think it's I don't know. I feel like he's been here long enough to show us a little bit more. And don't get it twisted, guys. I'm not saying that I am Ten Hag out. I'm just waiting till Christmas to make my decision. Originally, I'm going to stand on what I said before, innit? So, yeah, a lot of these things are making me think the manager can't turn it around because of his stubbornness, because of his naivety, because the guy doesn't seem to want to change things when things need to be changed. And of course, who are we to say that? We're not managers. We haven't got FA badges. But I feel like there's some basics that we see with the eye test on the pitch to let us know that there are clear changes that he can make. We do not control the ball in midfield. Going from defence through to attack, there's that big hole in the middle. And I feel like that's what kills us all the time, because most teams know they can put 3 workhorse midfielders in there and they can just absolutely destroy us. And I think that's what's going to happen this week. So, yeah, going into the structural side, because I know that you mentioned, let's go back up to that comment, actually. Read for the Sky. It is about the structure, but I think what we had yesterday is we did like an emergency meeting on Mandem, so it got heated last night. Obviously, you got Traps in there. You got Musa. Shout out everybody. Shout out Traps. Shout out Musa. Shout out Neji. And Neji was very adamant on 4 years to wait for the manager. And look, that's his own opinion. He's allowed to do that. But for me, I was pushing back on him about, where is your baseline? Where does it get to a point where you go, I'm not having it anymore, not interested? And I think we've got to find that balance, in my opinion, on the structure's not going to change anytime soon. My firm belief is that Jim Radcliffe's not going to come in January. He's probably going to, if it's going to happen, it's going to be between, I don't know, January time, when for him to come in and make a huge impact on this next window, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's an unrealistic expectation, but I think he's going to come in between sort of January and April. I think they're going to drag it out. And of course, there needs to be a structure there, but I do believe that a manager within this poor structure can look at all aspects of what they're doing: player management, style of play, scoring more goals, what you say to the press and the public. And I feel like there's a lot of accountability to be held on that, whereby he can do a lot better. And I feel as though right now we've got to have that balancing argument to be like, the structure is important, but the manager has to produce more. And it's all about, guys, where your baseline is. My baseline, to be honest with you, is I'm nearly at my baseline now. I think that this season and the Premier League is so wide open that we can get a result. We can go and actually qualify in the top 4. That sounds crazy to say that right now, but City are not on form. Liverpool are on form, but they've had a few little sort of iffy performances. Arsenal look like they're going to... Nah, I was about to say they're going to do it. They're not going to do it. But shout out any Arsenal fans that tune into this as well, because you're not going to win the league. Agreed, Sophia. It's going to be a tough week. We're going to find out everything to do with Ten Hag this week. I don't think anyone expects to do well, but let's see how it plays out. But yeah, baseline. So I feel like when it comes to your own views on it, it's like, where do you sit with the manager? Because I need to have, even though we're not performing at this level here, I need to look at everything that we've got. And I need to say, where is the bottom level? Where am I cutting off where I'm like unacceptable? Because I can't just give a manager blind faith based on what he's done in the past in a league that's not this league. I have to look at the whole sample size of everything, and I have to go, for the time that you've been here, have you managed everything that you've got? Have you done the best that you can with your deck of cards? And Ten Hag is confusing a lot of fans right now. What he's saying, how he's acting, his body language. I think Musa hit the nail on the head that he always says to us that he's not the same guy from last season. His body language, his aura, his confidence, and I agree with that. So I think that where is your baseline? I'm just trying to think where mine is really. So my baseline is probably it's now because it's getting there now because we're minus goal difference. We've lost 7 games in the Premier League already. We've had 4 points. If we lose to Bayern, which I think we all know is going to happen, 4 points out of 6 games in the Champions League campaign, and shocking losses. I mean, the Galatasaray games and the Copenhagen game just summed up where we are right now. So I think I'm kind of at my base because I know another manager, dare I say it, somebody like Gary O'Neill. I'm not saying I want him at United, guys, so for the outer. I think someone like that, his level of manager, who you would say is not as good a manager as Ten Hag, can do better with these players because I feel like they're doing it in other clubs. And of course, structure does come into it where they're run better, but managers get a lot of money and basic football would produce better results in what we're getting at the moment. So I think that's the balancing argument. Structure, baseline. Kaz, Aaron made a good point yesterday. Ten Hag doesn't have management attributes with players. It seems he's just purely disappearing. You've got to talk to players one-to-one. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And the other point that was made on top of that, it's a great point, Kaz. Thanks for the comment. Was does he know how to speak to these new age players? Because I'm 31, so I feel like anybody that's below the age of 24, 25, their mindset a lot of the time in the way that they respond to information is a lot different to, I would call it a different era, even though it's kind of not. And I feel like he needs to learn how to manage. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up on the Mandem talk yesterday, because it was proper heated. And Saeed messaged me today actually saying, can you come on my channel at 9 o'clock because some opinions didn't get heard? And I was laughing to myself because I'm thinking, yeah, it got pretty heated and I'm not going to shout over other people. But you know what? That's the way it goes, man. Like people invest a lot of time into the club. So to be emotional about something, I'm not going to judge expression. But yeah, going back to the point is like with the way the club is right now, it's such a poor condition structurally. The players just down tools. The quality of what they produce isn't great. So you've got a limited amount of time and a limited amount of choices to make within the time frame that you get as a manager. And I feel like he doesn't help himself with the way that he manages and some of the stories that we're hearing out. Now, I'm not going to say that these stories are gospel because I've not heard from the players and the manager themselves, but from what we hear that comes out as rumors and the body language and the reaction that we see from players, it kind of seems like it's going to be true when the real information comes out. So I think he's not got long left if he carries on doing what he's doing. So he's got to be smart with the decisions that he's making. I cannot understand why he's leaving certain players on the bench. Right now, I would play Hannibal and I would play Donny. But I don't think he's going to do that. I would play Varane, but he doesn't seem to be wanting to do that at all. I would play Højlund and Martial together up front, but he doesn't seem to be doing that at all. And this is where it comes down to, is he naive enough to think, A, he's got lots more time than what he should have? Is he naive to think that this season everything's going to work when it hasn't already? And is he naive enough to trust in these players? So time will tell. Also agree with Neji, you can't sack him. You start again with 10 odd players and who's out there who suits the Man United role. I think it's just we can't necessarily have the mindset of who's out there. I think one thing we've got to bear in mind is what's happening at Tottenham. They identified a manager in Postecoglou that nobody knew about. I mean, some of you guys may know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I didn't know about Postecoglou before he came to Tottenham. And I think we may want to look at that model and find a manager that's hungry, excuse me, look at his style of play or go and watch the teams that he runs and kind of go, let's bring in a young, hungry manager because we've not got much to lose. We'll probably play them considerably less because they're probably coming from a different kind of league or level club. And let's see what they're about because let's take Tottenham out of it, yeah? Tottenham don't win anything. We do, okay? Even at our lowest, we've still won trophies, yeah? We've won everything apart from the Premier League and the Champions League over the last 10 years of crap. Tottenham's exciting to watch. And that's where I want to start, guys. I want to start by turning the TV on and actually liking watching United again. And then everything else can come off that. I think at the end of the day, I'm not inspired by what we're watching. And also, I'm quite technical in the way that I watch football. So I'm watching them like, if we're going to increase our goal difference and win games, if we're going to dominate teams, or even if we don't dominate, if we're going to beat teams, from what I'm seeing us do right now, 1-on-1 is making 3. It's not adding up. It's got to be simplified ball. There's got to be an exciting style of play. The right players have got to play who are on form and have a stronger mentality. And I think that increases the probability 1, 2, 3 of making. Do you know what I mean? 1 equals 3. But right now we're not seeing that, and that's why I put the title as "Can Ten Hag turn this around?" And I think he can, but I don't think that he will. So, yeah, if anyone's got any other comments on that before I move on to the Bayern Liverpool, let me know. But I don't know, man. I feel like this manager's kind of, I don't know. I feel like he's given up on a little bit on, and he's stubborn on, I can't do what I want, so I'm going to give up on that rather than I can implement my style of play. I can implement something. So let's just say I can implement part of it, but I can't implement the other part. But what I am going to do is I'm going to adapt until I can implement that part. And I'm going to make some actual smart changes because right now we're seeing players on the bench that could be playing. And we're seeing formations that could work. And we're seeing in-game and man management that could be applied that isn't being applied. So let's see what happens, man. But what do you guys think? Do you think that he'll turn it around? Do you feel like he can, or do you feel like time's ticking and he might be? Well, you know my theory, guys. He's not going to be going anytime soon anyway. The club won't sack him straight away. But do you feel like this is the start of the end for Ten Hag, or do you feel like he can turn it around and he probably will turn it around? I'd be interested to hear that. So Tuesday, I believe the game is. Big up Kaz for saying this as well. He can turn it around. He needs physical back four as a base, e.g. Varane and Mush. Yeah, that's my point though. Like you can see it, bro, and I agree with what you're saying. But is he going to do that? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I agree, Maguire's been on form, but there's certain games to switch certain things up. I'll give you an example of that. Right, Scott McTominay scores 2 goals. Yeah, everyone's raving about him. Yeah. I would have pulled him out of the squad the next game because I would have looked at the next team and I would have looked at Bournemouth and I would have gone, they've played well recently. They beat some good teams. They're on form. I need a solid midfield and a base, and you're not going to provide that. What I might do is I might bring you on for the second half, the last 30, the last 20, and I might get you to get in that goal scoring position. But playing you for 90 minutes, knowing that you don't really produce, you don't run hard, you don't play the ball through, you don't even carry the ball that well anymore. That's where I feel like he makes the mistakes. After yesterday, I believe he won't turn it around and we unfortunately have to start again. But we need to get Sir Jim's people in as soon as possible, have a nice plan in place. I agree, Sophia. I think one thing that I would say, though, is I'm just not getting my hopes up on the Sir Jim thing. Number one, because I don't know what 25% looks like football control-wise. I don't know whether he's a politician and telling us what he wants us to hear to come in to then feed his own narrative and to better his own companies, or I don't know. I don't know if it's even going to happen. I don't know if the Glazers are going to run it all out and be like, "Nah, we wanted more money and we're not going to bring him in now." So I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I think that from what he's saying, it looks hopeful. I wouldn't mind taking a couple of Nice players in the meantime. I wouldn't mind taking Tadiba, and I think it's remind me, guys, the midfielder as well that they've got. I'll have a look at it, actually. They've got a midfielder that's actually decent, to be fair. Yeah, Thuram. I wouldn't mind taking Tadibo and Thuram. Exactly, I'm the same, but let's see what it looks like. Yeah, if he brings in a sporting director and he does it, because you know what, Sophia, you know what's really frustrating? We've got the resources to do something with somebody that wants to do it. We've actually got it. Like we could put a sporting director and we could put proper scouts in place, and they could identify, hold this manager accountable or bring in a new manager. And we spend enough money to buy young, hungry players that are actually going to play for the badge and play within a system and play quality and look after the ball. Like, we don't need to go buy 50, 60, 70 million pound players anymore. We can buy the 20, 30s and 40s, and we can build a young, fresh squad and ship other players out. Imagine if we sold Maguire and we bought Tadibo. Let's just say we sold Maguire for like 40 million pounds, yeah, or we robbed the bank and got 50, yeah? It's going to be like 40, maybe 30. And then we went and bought like Tadibo, and then we had like 10 million left over, and we go, all right, cool. There's a kid in like the Eredivisie, France, or Brazil, and we're just going to bring in some young, hungry guy who's going to be the future. He's going to be ready in 2 seasons, and he ends up coming in and just, do you know what I mean? Within a couple of years, stealing the show. We've got 2 players for the price of 1 bad one, so that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But we have to have a structure for that. Cool. Man United versus Bayern. How many goals are we going to sink in this one? Yesterday, I turned on my my scores, my live scores, and I seen Frankfurt versus Bayern, yeah, and I seen they lost 5-1. What can I say, people? I think strap yourself in, because it's going to be a tough game. I'll tell you right now. I think they're going to they're through already. But I think they're going to want to take momentum into the next round and to the weekend as well to bounce back. So I think they're going to come hard at us. And I think for any young, hungry Bayern player, right, to go to United and to score or to have a good performance, all eyes are on you. You'd wake up with a load of followers the next day. You'd seen as your value within world football would go up. We're just such a big stage. I feel like, we're going to get smoked, guys. We're going to get smoked. What I'm looking for from the team is, I'm kind of sick of saying I'm looking for some fight, because they'll do it this week and then they won't. Yeah. Wait, so Bayern would? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would. Yeah, exactly. As soon as I seen that, I thought we're going to get absolutely spanked even harder than before. What I'm looking for from United is, I'm looking for him to play the team and to get the machine oiled for the game against Liverpool, so we can be a respectable performance against Liverpool, regardless of the result. So I don't want him to. You could look at it 2 ways. You could play his strongest team, or you could play all the guys that are underperforming and say, "Go and get me a result." But I'm looking for something that is beyond the Bayern game. I'm looking for him to play certain players, and I'm looking for him to play Varane. I'm looking for him to play a good midfield. That midfield's probably going to be like Maino, Amrabat, and I don't mind that, Maino, Amrabat, but McTominay in the 10. Oh, people. Yeah. This is mad. Actually, is Bruno available for this game? I think Bruno is available for this game. Or is he not? He's available. No, he's not available for the Liverpool game. He's available for this one. So you're going to see Bruno. What's Ten Hag's definition for a midfielder role? If it's purely creative, he is blinkered coach by principle. You need midfielders who can play a complete transition. Exactly. Creative and score. Yeah, exactly. Well, you have different midfielders for different positions. So you'd have like a number 10. Yeah, Mrs. Liverpool, thought so, yeah. Let's put that comment back on the screen. You'd have different midfielders for different games and different styles, but usually what you'd have in a 10-og system by the looks of it is, and guys, I think it's a 4-3-3. No, it's a 4-2. It's a 4-2-3-1 in place. So I already said this last week. I think what you need 2 sensibles, and you can afford 1 risky. So what you do is you play Mino and you play Amrabat, or you play Amrabat and you play, well, Hannibal. Is he risky? You'd play like a Cass and an Amrabat. You would play, yeah, that's what I want to say. With Hannibal, it's a good question, Sophia. It's a really good question. I think what I would do if I was manager, and he won't do this, is I would play Kobe, Amrabat, and I would play Hannibal in the 10. And what I would do with that 10 is I would make sure that I'm also playing. Oh God, we're so dry at the moment. We haven't got any players. I would probably do that. I'd probably do that because then I would be like, right, Hannibal, if you can have a half decent, respectable performance, then we can run with that midfield three for the Liverpool game. I just wouldn't play Scott because although Scott can be a goal threat, him actually playing the creative 10 role, do you know what I mean? I think he's going to play Bruno, isn't he? I wouldn't play Bruno at the moment, guys. I wouldn't bother with him. Waste of time. But yeah, I'm looking for a respectable performance. I'm looking for us to get some momentum going to the Liverpool game. And if I transition over to that game, yeah, exactly. It's so bad. At the moment, guys, Trap said Scott's a 9.5, so he's like a 9 and a 10. May as well just play Scott as a second striker and bring him on at the end of the games. Last 10-minute striker. That's 10, 15 minutes. With the Liverpool game, the game that we're all looking forward to, guys. The game that we can't wait to play. The game that, yeah, I'm just looking for less than 7-0, guys. Honestly, like I don't even really know what to say. Everything that they are is everything that's a nightmare to us. They've got 5 gunmen up front, which I'd call them, where they've got Jota, Nunes, Diaz, Salah, and Jota. Gakpo, sorry. And they've got a solid midfield. I mean, I'm impressed with the way that I don't like Liverpool, but I'm impressed with the way that they've replaced the whole midfield and they've seemed to get it working to some sort this season. So that's no mean feat. But what United do, like we leave the midfield wide open, they love that. Our defenders are just not in gelled with each other, and you're probably going to see Maguire and Evans against them gunmen up front. Yeah, it's going to be a long day at the office. And then our keeper is, I mean, I'm not going to go in on Onana, but if the goal's getting peppered, then we're conceding, aren't we? So I think with the Liverpool game, I'm looking for something that's half respectable, and I'm looking for us to try and nick some points against Villa and against West Ham. Apart from that, guys, what more can I say? Really, what I'm looking for in these next 2 games, if I'm being honest, I'm looking for the manager to start to make decisions that are going to make us as sustainable and as safe as we can be. Because without those decisions, if there's still naivety, stubbornness, and favoritism, and bad management, and tactical bad decisions, it's going to be a long December. And I think what we'll find is we'll be in January. He'll still be here. We'll be way down in the table. And confidence will be at an all-time low. And everybody in the United fan base will be looking for some magical player in January, one player to come and solve us, which is not going to work, guys. I'd be interested to see. We'll have to do another show. I'd be interested to see who you guys think we should sign in January, whether we should go for a centre-back, midfielder, or an attacker. That'd be interesting. Hannibal is a strong player and tenacious. He deserves a run within the team with Amrabat behind him. His erratic side was smoothing out with the game time. Yeah, this is what I mean. Do you know what? That's such a good point, you know. Cass, big up you, bro. Like, one of the things that I'm looking for with Ten Hag is to use our sensible, experienced players to teach the youth how to play football and how to manage football and kind of that trade-off between, like, why is Amrabat not playing with Kobe? Because if Amrabat plays with Kobe, we're going to see Kobe develop further. I firmly believe it. Now, is Amrabat an absolute world beater? No. Yeah. But can he play United squad level? I think he can do. I think he's been unfairly judged because he's not had a run of games. So I feel like with Kobe there, he's only going to benefit from it. And they kind of complement each other. Like Amrabat can sweep up. Kobe can read the game. So if Amrabat misses one, they can. Kobe can progress the ball forward. He knows he's got that safety net behind him with Amrabat a little bit. And then the 10 can do their work. So I don't know why he's not doing it. I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? And equally, you could play Hannibal with Amrabat. I don't know about Hannibal and Kobe. You'd probably need one person in there that's a bit more. And this is why it kills me, guys, because Donny van der Beek is being left out in the cold. And I'm telling you guys right now, we play better with Donny van der Beek. Right now, we play better with Donny. Donny and Amrabat, Donny and Mainu. And Donny and Mainu would be a good combination. But we have a manager that's got a theory in his head, and he better hope that it works out for himself because he's so adamant on what he's doing. Even though after the last game, I think we've seen some words that made him think like, do you know what, it's not working. But I think if I'm going to end this stream on something, it's like the manager now really earns his money. He really has to show us why he should stay in the job, because I fully appreciate people's views that say no other manager can get anything out of the club. It's the structure, structure side. You're right. But I'm not going to hang my hat on no other manager can get better out of these players. And I'm just going to remind you guys what I said on the stream last night. Me and Saeed were talking on his stream, and I said, I was breaking down a point to AG, and I was saying that, like, I don't expect if a new manager comes in for us to go win leagues. I don't expect to win Champions Leagues. What I expect is a top 4 to 6 finish, better football, more goals, actual like a positive goal difference and stuff like that. And for him to rotate and play the right players within the squad, because I believe those elements will allow us to finish as a top 4 club. And then that way, we can hang our hat on. The manager's doing everything that he can. It's now down to the structure. Do you know what I mean? And I'm happy, while the structure's bad, for us to go win FA Cups every now and then, Carabao Cups, have a good season, have a bad season. But if we're seeing something that we like to watch, and we're seeing players develop, and maybe we're seeing slowly the squad starting to change a little bit, yeah, I'm cool with that for now, because I know realistically there's not much more without the structure. So I'm not going to rule out that a manager can't get better out of what we have already. So yeah, that's all for me, guys. I might be back on at 10:30 later with Neji, because wait, let me look into the camera 1 second, guys. 1 second. Let me just look into the camera 1 sec, guys. Neji, yeah, you let me down. You were supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. Okay, yeah, you decided to go spend time with your family. Okay, this is more important than that. Okay, no, I'm joking. If you guys go spam Neji as well, might be back at 10:30. Neji, you better be here. Yeah, because I had to do this one by myself. Yeah, even though I like it anyway, guys. I like having you guys in the comments. And yeah, Neji, sort your shit out, mate. But yeah, guys, last comment coming in as well. Yes, Leon, but Cobby, I've noticed, does go quiet in recent games. Home games are more suited to him at the Mo, where it's meant to be safer with United prowess. I think that, big up, Sophia, I appreciate it, man. Oh, he messaged me as well. We're going to sort something out. We're definitely going to sort something out. Let me know your availability. I'll work around you. I think with Cobby, it goes back to the Amrabat point, and I feel like Cobby needs to be developed slowly. Unfortunately, because we've got a bare thin squad and we're relying on these exciting youth players to come in. Like if Zidane had come in this season and had a bad performance, people would be cooking him, yeah? You need to give them time to develop, and you need to give them a solid, sustainable environment to actually succeed within what they're doing. Unfortunately, at the moment, the kid's being relied on as like the next Pogba to kind of drag us out of stuff in it. So it's a shame, really, to be honest with you. Yeah, exactly. He needs to answer for his crimes, innit? Do you know what I mean? You guys have seen the wanted poster. You guys have seen it, haven't you? Let me just make sure. Just so it's here on the internet on my channel as well. Let's have a look. This guy in AG. What's he saying? Late one. Yeah, he thinks I've got all day to wait for him. See this, guys? He's wanted, people. Look at the bottom bit. Controversial preferences as well. This guy. But yeah, we need to bring them into the right environment, and we need to look after them, and we need to take pressure off them, because Kobe's not going to have a great game every game. But when you've got an Amrabat next to you, not only can you be like somebody to put the arm around, but somebody who's a bit more experienced, somebody that's played at an international level, somebody that's gone far with Fiorentina in certain tournaments and actually played in a competitive league, in a team that was trying to get up the table and stuff like that. So yeah, I think for me, guys, it's down to the manager in the next few games. But listen, guys, thanks for locking in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. I've got some brand new boxing content coming tomorrow. If anyone watched the Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis fight, if you're into boxing, I've got a full breakdown coming. Brand new layout as well, so you're going to see brand new videos come up on the channel. Last comment, what's he saying? Neji, where's your opinion? I'll leave that on the stream for the end. But guys, thanks for locking in. I might be back at 10:30. I'm actually going to be on Saeed's channel in about 10 minutes. So I'll be on the Unfiltered podcast. So if you want to go over there and check it out, we'll be chopping up stuff. I might be on Rhinos after that. He does some relationship show on a Sunday. And then I might be back here at 10:30 with Neji. So it might be a bit of a busy night. But guys, thank you so much for locking in. I appreciate it. Big up